that you knew about the people in the movies, cause she has no clue. Kristy doesn't know movies. Kristy doesn't know movies. Kristy doesn't know movies.
Hey, welcome to a very... Hold on, let me try that again. I got something better to say. Hey, welcome to a nail-biting episode of Kristy Doesn't Know Movies, the podcast. How are you doing?
I just woke up, as usual, so I'm bitter and ready to go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Are you ready for a movie? Oh, you just said that. All right.
Yeah.
Kristy,
Yeah.
What do you think 1959's Plan 9 from Outer Space is about?
What the fuck? Nobody's heard of that movie.
Yes, they have.
It's...
You want the title again?
Yes.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Plan 9 from Outer Space. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty popular. People know of it, so...
Stupid people know about it. Okay. This was an early attempt at sci-fi, so the whole movie looks like shit. No notable actors are in it because it was so fucking old. Judy Garland in it.
Judy Garland?
Yeah. That's the only...
Okay. So you say no notable actors are in it, but then you drop Judy Garland in the mix.
She's the only notable actor.
Okay.
Okay. And she probably only plays a bit role because I couldn't afford her for very long.
Right.
So it's about how years ago, but still in the future. So like this movie probably takes place in like the year 2000, so it's space age, but then it goes back to like the year 1990, and then so like all these... Was NASA a thing then? I don't think NASA was a thing. The Space Exploring Agency is what they call it. So they launched a bunch of different things into space with people, spaceships. Right. So they were like trying to explore space with those people, and so there were 10 of them. Okay, there was Plan 1, Plan 2, Plan 3, Plan 4, all the way up to 10. Okay,
right.
And so all of them were like a success. They sent them off to like various planets and that, but number 9 never reported in. It was like compromised. Like they don't know what happened to it. So 10 years later, in 2000, that spaceship comes back, but had been taken over by aliens. And so these aliens ended up being able to make the rocket go back to Earth, and so they come in. It's like a horror movie. So they come in on this spaceship, Plan 9, coming from outer space, right? And so they start like trying to take over Earth. Judy Garland plays a scientist. And they like capture her. She's like their hostage. She's like the first one who sees the aliens, and they hold her hostage. She probably sings a song about it. And then and then there's just these 2 guys who have to try to like free Judy Garland, kill the aliens, and save the world. But it's like a really slow moving movie too, because it's really old.
Right.
Like you can't even really call it an action movie. It was like the start of action sci-fi.
All right.
It was so very like they just didn't have the budget or the props or the effects to make it very good. everything was clearly in front of a painted screen in a warehouse. But they tried. They could probably make it better. Well, they can't really do a remake because it takes place in the year 2000. But they could do one that takes place like in the year 3000.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Alrighty.
What the movie is about.
Moving right along.
Okay.
What do you think 2011's Jack and Jill is about?
Okay. Gonna be honest, I saw the first minute of this movie.
Okay, that doesn't.
Okay, and then I abruptly turned it off. But it's still like haunting me on Netflix because Netflix is like, do you want to continue watching Jack and Jill? And it's like, do you want to fuck off? But no, I don't want to see it. It was my shitty ex roommate made me put it on one day. And I was like, I can't fucking do this.
It's a little depressing that you willingly put on Jack and Jill.
I didn't willingly put it on. I was drunk and I was drunk and I was coaxed into it, okay?
Okay.
So it's an Adam Sandler movie, which
Right.
means it's garbage. So he plays both Jack and Jill. Like this
Right.
is he was trying to do like what like the Wayne brother, like whatever. He was trying to do like a what's that movie with the like cranky black lady? But there's like 1,000 of them.
Medea?
Medea. They were trying to do. Adam Sandler is trying to steal essentially Medea's plot, where it's like one person plays the whole family kind of thing.
Okay.
So he plays both Jack and Jill, and it's filmed all like the Parent Trap style, where it's just like one person playing two characters and having to talk to themselves. And so he plays two severely annoying people. One is a girl and one is not. And they're supposed to be like twins, probably. And I think the plot is like, I don't know, their parents probably die or something, so they're brought back together after not talking to each other for like eternity because they're both annoying as fuck, and their annoyingness like just irks the other one, but they also don't realize that they're fucking annoying as shit because they're Adam Sandler. And so it's just like the two of them trying to like get together and like divvy up the will or something. And they're just like, it's like just infuriating to watch because it's like they're just both fucking Adam Sandler talking over himself. And I'm sure he's just doing a fucking voice and like
I can't think of anything worse than that.
half laughing like over his lines because he thinks he's so fucking funny and can't keep a straight face. Like, you know that thing he does where he like smugly smirks when he like thinks, haha, I've written a hilarious line. Like that. Like, he's just doing that smug fucking Adam Sandler thing times 2. And yeah, and I'm sure like he's got some shrill voice for Jill. It's been like, yeah, and it's just
what about the plot of the movie?
The plot is them divvying up the will or like the shit from their parents, and they're probably just like in there like drawing lines like, this is my half of the house and that is yours. I don't know why you have to be like that all the time. I don't know why you have to be like. It's just fucking irritating. And probably at the end, like one of them is like sifting through boxes or something and like gets trapped. It's probably Jill, and Jill's probably like, help, help, help. And then so finally Jack goes over and is like, oh wow, sister, you like almost died. And she's like, yeah, I could have died, and then you would have been all alone, and then what you did. And he's like, well, then I would have been like really sad. Oh my god, we're the only family we have left, so we need to cherish each other. Oh my god, yeah, we have to like cherish each other. So it's just like fucking back and forth of them realizing that that you need to respect family, and like they're all you got or some shit. And then, so at the end, like, they just kind of deal with each other. And then they probably end up becoming, like, best friends and moving in together. And then they tried to open it up so that, like, they're separate families. Like, Jack, his wife and his kids, and Jill, her husband and kids. They also don't like each other, but now they've set it up so there could be a sequel, even though absolutely nobody would want that. And so they could have it so that their families are in disagreements, but Jack and Jill want to move back in together because they love each other so much. Yeah.
If that doesn't sum up Adam Sandler, I don't know what.
Can't fucking deal with that guy. Yeah, this movie is definitely like a 0 out of 10 stars.
You heard it here first, folks.
Don't watch it on Netflix. They'll think you want it still. Yeah. This is like, there are things in the Walmart dollar DVD bin that deserve more credit than fucking Jack and Jill.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Our final movie of the episode. What do you, Kristy, think 2013's Sharknado is about?
This is by the same people who did Rubber, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I think it's by the same people who did Rubber.
I can tell you this. It's a made-for-TV movie.
Okay. I mean, the title kind of gives it all away. It's somewhere between like the movie Perfect Storm, Independence Day, Jaws, and Twister. So, so there's like this guy who works at a weather station. I don't know his name, but he's probably also in something on Netflix. I feel like he got a lead role in some Netflix series after this.
Okay.
And so he is like a weather dude predicting weather, and he sees that like they live in Kansas, and so he sees that there's this like tornado. No, they can't live in Kansas if there's sharks. So there's no sharks in Kansas. They live in Florida because a lot of fucked up shit happens in Florida. I think there are sharks in the water in Florida. They call this movie Sharknado, but I think they got it wrong because a tornado starts over land.
Yeah.
But if it starts over water, isn't that a hurricane?
Yes.
And so it should have been like SHARKICANE, because like it wasn't a tornado. It didn't start over land. It was a hurricane because the hurricane starts over the water, sucks up the sharks, and then proceeds to go over like to the land. But it starts in the water. It's a hurricane. So, like, right away, they fucked up. The people didn't do their research, and so that shows where the rest of the movie is going to go. So this guy, he's like, oh, there's like he keeps calling it a tornado, and, like, it's going to piss you off if you realize that it's not a tornado. And he's like, oh, this tornado, it's coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. And everyone's like, everyone at the fucking weather place who should know their shit is like, oh no, like it looks like it's gonna be a bad tornado. And he's like, yes, this tornado could be devastating to Florida. And so they start putting on fucking TV, like, oh, watch out, there's a tornado warning in effect. And it's pissing me off already. It's not a fucking tornado. And so this it's a hurricane. The hurricane starts, and it's like a funnel, like, and it starts slurping up different sea life from the ocean. But the most concerning part of it is that it's slurping up sharks. And these sharks aren't happy about it. Like 5 minutes ago, they were swimming, and now they've been swept up into a hurricane, not a tornado. And so they're getting mad. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be sucked up into a hurricane. And so then it starts making its way on the coast, and it probably follows like a single mom and her teenage daughter and her teenage son and her younger, not quite teenage daughter. Yeah, not teenage daughter, her like 10-year-old daughter. And so the four of them are trying to pack up and like get out. And she's been seeing the weatherman, like they're a thing. And so he's like, "Hey, hun, pack up your kids, because like you gotta get out of here. This tornado's coming." And she's like, "It's not a fucking tornado, you fuck. I didn't even go to school for this. And I know it's a fucking hurricane, you motherfucker."
Wow.
So she's from Florida, so she's immediately like, "I don't give a fuck. Don't tell me what to do. I know what's best for me and my family." So she decides not to move. And he's like, "Honey, you better move. Like, that tornado's coming." And she's like, "Don't even fucking start with me about it's a hurricane." And she's just like, "No, we're staying put." And then so it starts to get closer, and he's like watching it on like this like a weather camp, you know, the ones, and it like you see it swirling from like over top, like the top down view of the world. Watching it, and he's like, "What is that? Like, something seems to be jabbing out of it." And it's just all these shark faces, and it's just it's a hurricane of sharks just swirling towards the water. And so he's like, "Oh my god, it's a Sharknado." And again, everyone in the weather office is just like, "Yeah, that seems accurate." None of us know any better to fucking name it properly. And so they like put on the news that like a Sharknado's coming. It's like sucked up some sharks. And so that is when this woman decides, "Oh, maybe me and my kids should actually leave." So then there's all these struggles, right? Because like everything's been blown over from the hurricane. And so like trees are down and that, and so they've got to try to get out of Florida, but also like everything's like been broken and that, and then there's other last minute people who are trying to get out. And so it's just her, and she probably eventually meets up with the weatherman, because the Sharkicane is what it should be, is coming towards the weather station. So like he's got to flee too. So they all meet up, and then it's like this survival movie of them trying to get out. There's probably a part where they're like hiding in a parking garage or something, and they're like, "We're safe from the Sharknado here," and she's like, "It's a fucking shark." And so they're like, "Yeah, we're safe here. Nothing bad'll happen." And then like the hurricane just like goes by, it like creeps slowly by, and you hear like da 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 da, and then suddenly a shark flies out of the hurricane and hits their car and just like goes right through their windshield, and it's just like flapping inches from their faces, and they're like, "Yeah!" And then so they have to go get another car, and it's just them. It's like it turns into Grand Theft Auto at this point. They just keep stealing cars, going for a bit, something happens to it, steal another car. And eventually they get out, because I know there's sequels where they also chose not to fix the fucking name, even though it's not, you know.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to this?
That they need to like fix. Technically, I could go make a movie called SHARKICANE, and it's not infringing on their rights to their name. It's an actual accurate representation of what had happened in their movies.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening, folks. Tune in next time for a very special episode of Kristy Doesn't Know Movies.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.